Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of SwanCast. I hope you all watched the first episode of Intro to Swan Network. If you haven't, please go to the main channel of Swan Chain and you can watch our first episode before this one. And in that episode, we recapped everything about Swan Network that you need to know. So please make sure that you check that out before watching this one. And in this episode, we'll be talking about the Swan Token economics. So the economic models and what we want to do with the Swan tokens and how it's going to work within the Swan ecosystem. And again, we have Charles joining us today. So say hi to everyone, Charles.
Hi everyone, glad to see you guys again, and very interesting to talk about the Swan tokenomics, which is the essential part of the entire Swan chain.
Perfect. So before we start with the heavy topics of the economics, we'll do a little recap of what happened since the last episode has aired. So let's go back to our regular Swan Spotlight, and let me take you to the Spotlight episode. So Swan Spotlight, since last episode aired, we talked about the Swan Jupiter and testnet has launched. And now we're closing on the December 20th. So if you are watching this before the 20th, you still have time to join. So make sure to check out the description box down below and you can click the link and still join the testnet and see if there's anything that you want to contribute and participate. And if you are watching this after the December 20th, don't worry, we still have a lot of opportunities happening within our community and you can still join another campaign probably coming up early next year. So stay tuned within our community. You can follow our social media for the upcoming opportunities. And for now, you can join the Lagrange and Optimism We Love the Art campaign. There is 1 million OP tokens in the prize pool right now, and we will have a detailed guide on how you can participate in this campaign to get that 1 million token pool. And this is a very interesting opportunity for all of you who love arts, AI, music, and everything like that. And you can submit your own artwork to the campaign and possibly earn part of that prize pool. And this campaign is running till January 8th, so there's still lots of time for you to participate. Again, you can find out the link in the description box and follow our Twitter for more details for this campaign. So as we talked about the testnet, currently we already have 150 plus new computing providers registered from over 27 countries and 50 plus cities. So it's been a huge success so far. If you still want to be part of that, there's still time. So make sure to join the testnet if you watch this video before the 20th. And one last thing is that Swan team has participated in the Chainlink hackathon, and we built a project using the Chainlink functions. This week, we'll be pushing out a blog post on how we built this project, what technology we used, how we integrated the Chainlink functions into the platform that we're building, and how it interacts with multi-chain storage and Lagrange, the two native platforms built by the Swan team. So stay tuned for that blog post as well. And all right, let's go back to our regular topics. So Charles, about token economics, I think we haven't really on a community scale talked about Swan token as much. So can you just give us a little bit of overview about the Swan token in general and how does it work within the entire Swan ecosystem? And if there are any fundamental components that you want to introduce the community to?
Lots of people interested about the tokenomics of Swan, since the Swan token is always the core part of the economic model. So in Swan chain, first of all, we have to say make it clear, Swan chain is the layer 2 of Ethereum, currently using the OP stack technology, which means that everything is based on Ethereum, the big family with EVM compatible. What we're aiming to providing is a computing services worldwide. So we have global access to the network. The Swan token is used for governance the entire network for the fair and provide equal opportunity to the other participants. So beyond that, you can also use it for different purposes, like make a payment for acquiring resource, voting for the different proposal, include, but they're not limited to something like how can we decide grant for contributors? How can voting for features? And something like if we have some big changes, for example, big ecosystem decide to join, how can we incentive participants? All of this will be part of the utility of the Swan token.
And how does the Swan token play within the computing kind of ecosystem that we currently have? With the supply and demand of the computing power and resources that we currently supply, does that play into any of the economic component of that?
Yeah, so we are currently planning as 2 stages, stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 is using the Ethereum to make the collateral. If people as a provider join the ecosystem, they need to have some collateral in space to running a computing provider, which means that they have the liability. So it's part of the liability. You can pay or compensate the user if you do something malicious to the network. As a user, you are be able to pay using Swan token in the future for services you are purchasing. There's several advantages using the Swan token compared to using other tokens. For example, if you're using some token in other chains or other ecosystem, you need to go through some bridges. Then you can connect it to the network. Cross more bridges which means that more vulnerabilities when you're doing the bridging. And there are always some cost when you go through the either DeFi exchanges or bridges, swaps, cost will happen. Using native Swan token on Swan native chain will give you the low cost and also high security of your transaction. It also, because of the Swan chain's fast confirmation time, that gives you more capability and more faster, higher TPS, which is confirmation time is shorter, better user experience, less crowd. So all the advantages are provided by you if you're using Swan Chain and Swan token.
Perfect. And you mentioned that for CP computing providers, they will be currently using Ethereum as the collateral. And what would be their income? For example, if they provide their resources, what would they receive in return as their income for that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So be simple is like if user pay with the Ethereum, like the CP provider will get Ethereum for sure. And before the token is implemented, actually from technology point, we already have doing lots of different tests. It works well. It's just like we wanted the community and us decide when is the proper time to using the Swan token as the collateral. When is the time achieve this? Like everything should be paid and received in the form of Swan token.
And how are the income distributed within the providers? How do we determine, what kind of income that they receive? How is that related to the tasks that they perform on the network?
Yeah, there's a couple of different approaches and also the different layers, right? So theoretically, like client paid, we deduct the transaction cost, deduct the agent cost, I mentioned like matching platform cost, then the final amount will be arrived to the provider end. But there was a couple of things in the middle, maybe cause some charges. For example, matching engine, right? When you have multiple bidders with one task provider, you probably get 3 service providers, and there will be partition of the reward we distribute to these providers. We haven't decided the specific number yet. It can be a variant from 70% to 100% for the leading processor. in processor, there will have a lot of different criteria, the service quality, task accomplishment, and etc. But generally speaking, it varies from 70% to 100%. Secondary is the agent. So due to the different region, latency, network, and government laws, special regulations according to the data protection. Like Europe have GDPR, China have their own laws, and US and Canada have their data protection laws. Gabby have Q25 bill. So there was regional hubs. So the regional hub is like the regional hub, the provider will subscribe to this hub. So on different hub, they maybe set different ratios about the discount or tax, consider like tax. They'll take a partition as a commission fees from its deal. We don't have the number yet. It can be variant from 0 to 5%. We suggest like the providers of those regional hubs don't charge over 5%. But if it's in high demand region and the provider all agree, it can be increased as much as you want, as long as people want to join you. So this is the second cost. The third cost is the swap change. So the first time when you swap the Ethereum to Swan Chain, payment to the Swan provider, there was swap cost. It's very little, but it does cause some cost. The cost depends on the smart contract, etc. Like everybody knows that the contracts always cost you some gas fees, something like that. Yeah. So those are the three major costs we're causing. There will be other occasions you probably have some token value loss. For example, if task not fully accomplishment, you're asking for some reward, right? Not really reward. It's more like you want something like callback those services, right? Then you want the refunding. The refunding will be some deduction of the gas. So maybe if an extreme case like you pay USDT or some other tokens on Ethereum mainnet, like say like you pay 100, and because the gas is extremely high at the moment, even though the task is not successful and you fully refunded, when you back to the native chain and the original chain, you probably only get 20 USDT back because there was lots of gas consumed during the exchanges. However, if you do it on Swan Chain using the Swan token, you probably like only have 0.1% loss, since the gas fee, everything is much, much cheaper on Swan Chain. So those are where the token workflow and the funding flow works when you actually payment or purchase behavior happens on Swan Chain.
Perfect. I think we also have this kind of resources on our documentations, and I think there is a flow chart for people to see. Can you combine all of these elements that we talked about and show people the flow chart and just kind of point out where everything and how it works in terms of within the ecosystem, how it plays into different parts?
Yeah, I just share my screen. You can find the documents online now at the docs.FilSwan.com. Get started. There was a protocol stack. I describe everything. If you go to the token channel, you will see like all the flow chart. There are different color with different graph to describe how the token flow and current plan and the future plan. So you can see here, like start from beginning. Let's go start from here. The start point is like everything start from the demand. Assume like we have a market space. Currently, we already have over 10 DApps have developed on the Swan chain, including storage, bandwidth, computing, etc. So let's say like you asking for computing product, then it's actually a purchase behavior within the Swan Ethereum. You'll be able to arriving to the Swan infra. And the Swan infra, the fee will be connected and sending to the Treasure. So Part of the fee is go through the Swan Hub. Swan Hub will pay some fees to the Treasure through the smart contract. And on the other side, when the purchase happening, payment, everything is done, you will get the auction engine start working. They are matching you with the demand from market, which is the computing provider. Computing provider has been subscribed to the system before the purchase happened, which means that when you make the payment, send a request, there was already providers waiting the marketing for you. And how we can guarantee those providers stable and working together with us, provide a quality service. They need a staking, the Swan token, and in the future, if they get a reward, it will be repaid in the Swan token format. And on the other side, when the competing provider win a bid, what happens here, the auction engine dispatch and validate, are you really doing the job? If it's validated and confirmed the job is doing properly, you will get a reward from pipeline. So you can see like the auction engine will do two things. Validate, did the provider stake enough token? Validate if the user has pinned enough funds. Validate if the result is working properly. And also if they are challenging about the arbitrage of the process or there's claim happens, there will be slashing and auction engine involved to start should we slashing those competing providers. So the validators were working with the engine to doing the slashing, and the slashing will cause the funds burn. For example, if you have some collateral and you don't really perform well, the collateral will be burned, and it will cause the total supply decrease. That's how it works. With the fee connected in the Treasure, if Treasure decide to pay some services in Swan token or other format, it has the choices to use the fee to buy Swan token from the open market. Or in the future, they probably can even publish some debt financing to borrow money or borrow Swan token from the open market instead of directly release the token from the Treasure wallet. Means that it's very similar to how the current way our financing system working. Yeah, so this is a total token value flow. It's complicated, and there was a lot of details. If you're interested, you can expecting from the documents we have in the future. And then for the each entities about how computing providers get income, how user pay different payment, how the payment from Ethereum becomes Swan token, where does those bridges existing, and how those swap happens. You can always refer to the docs, FilSwan.com, to check all the documentations.
Perfect. Thank you, Charles. We'll also link this page to the description box of this video. And I know in this part that we didn't discuss, it is a extra source of income for the computing providers, which is a very big part within our ecosystem that we've been talking about, and that is the universal base income for computing providers. Can you just talk to us a little bit more about the background on that and how does that contributing to the economics model for computing providers?
Yeah, actually, like when we design the system, we see like there's lots of providers join us. We already have during the testnet, we already have over 5 providers from 17 cities join us globally. We really appreciate their contribution in early stages, and there was a very long time. There are no incentives, there are no token owners, but it's still working with us. But we know that it cannot running for long term. Right? The market has up and down, and the task in the market has up and down. In order to make sure everyone working with us and also like to keep the hardware with the ecosystem, we decided to publish something more like universal basic income for people, the vendors who has qualified hardware with us. They will have the chance to gain a stable income. And we describe the various basic income here as a UBI, and I can elaborate about it. You need to have some specific hardware. And there was a format like when you have more income from the market, you will have less UBI from the treasure. So a typical Swan provider income will have two parts, right? One part from market open jobs, one part from the UBI, and there was a relationship becomes between the jobs created and the funds you earn from the bidding engine operating market. There's lots of formula here. You can go through it. And to make it simple, I can just remember like there were three parts becoming your income: the base income, the UBI income, and the bonus income. And we make a graph to easy to virtualize those incomes. So in the beginning of the system, if there's no job in the market, you get UBI reward, which means that in the beginning, your all the income maybe come from UBI, and your total income is equivalent to the UBI. After a while, you get a 100 points from the market. Then the UBI deducted by 100 points. So your total income is still 800 points. From time being ongoing, then you get equivalent income from the market and you get the UBI, then it becomes half. One day, when there's a lot of jobs in the market, and because your reputation is good, your performance is extremely great, and you get more jobs, then the UBI income will become zero, and you are now totally independent working in the successful bidding and competing market. That is at that time you get zero UBI because UBI is not for base income, it's not for long-term surviving. Then we can say like at this stage, you as a provider is successfully survival in the open market. Yeah, so this is a simple simulation of what's happening in the early stage of the competing market.
Perfect.
And you can find the document and at the same place we show here, and ground computing jobs, UBI, and the provider income.
Perfect. And Charles, just to make one clarification, would the UBI income coming from the Treasure DAO, or which part of the token allocations that part of the token would come from?
Yeah, as it's part of the global compensation system, so it's supposed to come in from the Treasure DAO, because the duty of the Treasure is to make the health growth of the entire ecosystem. This is part of system growing plan, so it should come from the Treasure DAO. It's not a marketing purpose, it's not a legal or other purpose, it's from the Treasure.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So looking forward, are there any upcoming developments or enhancement in the Swan token economics that the community should look forward to or be excited about?
Well, I would say like the UBI itself is already something very interesting, and everybody should be excited. Since like I think we are the first protocol of those kind of services, and it's also like observed take a reference from different ecosystem, including Ethereum, Filecoin, Chia, all those previously infra projects, what they have been offering and what the community needs. We already like we see the market in the past 8 years, including Bitcoin miners up and down. So that's why we make it. It's not a perfect model. We need to keep on involving it. And there was a lot of things need the community participant. For example, like how can we benchmark the hardware? How can we set up the criteria? And there will be like a challenge system, right? How can we tell which part is qualified, where are not qualified, right? There's a lot of technologies part we need to implemented. We are working with communities about ZK proofing to prove like you actually did the work, right? There was how to generate randomness. So there are cryptography methodology we need to implement. There was a social methodology we needed to implement, and there was also governance needed to be involved. On the other side, there were also other things may be interesting beyond UBI is the future debit marketing. So we can see like there's lots of ecosystem when from the treasure when they need a fund, it's just unlock from the treasure and directly like sell tokens in the market. Can we do the deep financing? And how can we set up an open deep financing market? So instead of direct sale to the market, can we borrow funds from the community to go to another business cycle, right? So all those things will be interesting, and we hope that community can join us and contribute either ideas or designs or even coding or building a product. And we're open to the grant and other discussions about those.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I think that's a wrap up for this episode and about token economics for Swan Token. And for anyone who's interested to know more, we'll have the link to the documentations in the description box. So please to check those on our documentation site. And if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for us, or you want to be a participant in this movement, so please join our Discord and start a conversation over there or discuss within our own communities. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.